Why be easy when you can just die? Woo! Wow! I'm Chewy Mew, and welcome to my channel, more specifically, welcome to another Chewy Mew video, where today, guys, I've actually made a mistake, and that mistake was, I went to Goodwill, which is a thrift store in the US, and I managed to find this bag that had some Spider-Man figures, and also some other figures in it, mostly what's going to be custom fodder and stuff like that. And one of those figures that was actually in that box was actually the the Hasbro Spider-Man Classic Scuba Spider-Man. So the picture you see on screen is what the figure looks like originally. That's what the figure is supposed to look like. And unfortunately, I already recorded a review of it, and then I accidentally deleted it from my phone, so now that's gone. And so I'm going to do the review, but you guys are going to see the custom head sculpt on it already, or the custom painted, where I painted in the web lines. So I'm probably just going to upload these videos like at the same time, so that way there's not a big time discrepancy. But either way, here he is. So you can see the head sculpt. It is darker now because the way I painted it, which I'm not going to spoil how. Check that video out too. I'm going to try uploading these videos like around the same time, within maybe a couple hours of each other, so you guys can actually see the discrepancy between like the different colored head sculpts. But either way, this is the Hasbro re-release of a Toy Biz version. I had to repaint the head sculpt, thanks to Hasbro for not painting it themselves, because the Toy Biz version did have a painted head. Unfortunately, Hasbro didn't paint it, and also some of the costume, like the color changes, were done as well. On the Toy Biz version, I think these are silver. I actually haven't seen a picture in quite a while. So these little web fingers, Toy Biz actually painted on the web fingers, so that's cool. I don't know why these ones are actually raised, whereas the ones on this mask are kind of recessed. So that sculpt was originally this much lighter color, but the way that I painted on the webs kind of made the entire head sculpt darker, which is, you know, I prefer if it was just the original red color, like the color of his body. It would match the figure that I put him on better. But either way here, let's move the head out of the way. He has like this cool little, also this wasn't painted, this was also just a plain red plastic. There was no wash or shading or anything of that kind, of any of that kind of variety, or anything of that. Can't speak English anymore. None of that was of it. Oh, there was no wash or anything applied to this figure, just this. The Toy Biz version did have a little bit of wash here on his muscles, I think, though, but the neck didn't have anything, so it's just flat red. You can see the blue here, kind of like the transition is a little bit. There's not really a clear divide of these, kind of one paint ends, one paint starts. On the back, there is actually a groove there. You can kind of feel it too a little bit. You can see there's like a groove there where they kind of match. The paint does a little bit. The red bleeds onto the blue bleeds onto the red a little bit here and there. You get some paint chipping there, which is it's expected. The black on the spider is kind of fading a little bit here and there, but you do see the black on the spider is actually, or the outline around the black of the spider is actually sculpted inwards, which is really cool as well. You know, Toy Biz definitely did pretty good making this body, even though this was just meant to be just a toy for kids. It's not meant to be like a collectible. It's not obviously not meant to be a sort of superposable, highly detailed, highly painted, sculpted figure. You know, compared to something like Sinister Six Spider-Man here, that is designed for collectors to just have fun posing around, and also for kids to have fun, you know, playing around with. This is meant mainly for kids just to goof around and play with. So yeah, Toy Biz still did some good work here, and I'm also giving Toy Biz credit, because Hasbro just re-released the mold, so Hasbro doesn't get any credit for this figure existing, because if it weren't for Toy Biz, this wouldn't exist right now. And like I also said, it's not a superposable masterpiece. It just has I think I'm gonna guess like 14 or 16 points of articulation. I think 16. I'm gonna say it was 16. On the bottom of the foot here, it says 2008 Marvel, 2008 CPU, 2008 Hasbro China, and then C22BA. The other foot here says 009. He has these nice fins on the back, which these fins look pretty cool. And you could obviously, like I said multiple times by now, this is a Scuba Spider-Man, so that's why he has sort of like a scuba diver costume, which I think it looks really cool. It looks basically like a regular old scuba diver costume, just with a Spider-Man mask and spider logos on it. Which also, I like that these are, I think on the Toy Biz one, this logo was blue. They painted it black, which I think looks pretty cool too as well. The head also does a little bit of a bobble to it. Also, I really like the way that the chest, if the chest had articulation, that'd be great, obviously, but since it doesn't have it, you can see the musculature of Spider-Man really good. It looks really nice how there's like no sculpt or there's no sculpt on it to break up the mold, or there's no joints. It just looks, you can see like a six-pack, the muscles on the side. You don't see like the rib muscles over here because he has these like web kind of gills on it looking, or these gills kind of thing. The pectorals there. I think that's a very clean looking body. I think it looks pretty cool. Because it doesn't have like a joint. Obviously, if it had joints, that'd be really cool too. But I just like the way the mold looks, how it's not broken up on this figure. One thing I did notice, though, is when you move the arms all the way up, I don't think they're intended to go up this high, but you can get them to go up that high. The plastic you can see here looks like it's getting kind of crunchy, kind of wrinkled up. There's like plastic jumbling up here. You can see there is actually where the mold was combined, I guess. You can see there's a little line right here. I think the shoulders are meant to go up only like about this much. I feel like they're only supposed to go up that much, but, you know, whatever. I'm a rebel. I'm going to make them go all the way up. None of the other joints seem to have that kind of issue where paint kind of gets chewed off. The rest of the joints, there's some paint wear here and there, which is... Let's take a look at his articulation here. The head, I think the head's supposed to look like that normally. It's supposed to be like this, so you can look down. You can rotate it all the way around here. I don't want to touch the eyes because the paint might not be completely dried yet. The arms rotate all the way around. They go less than 90 degrees up. You can bend the joint, the elbow in one place. There's a good hinge in the wrist. I'm surprised at how good that moves, even though it doesn't even need to move that much. Rotation here in the waist. Rotate them all the way around. The legs kick up. They kick up past 90 degrees, so that's pretty cool. Though he can do actually past the splits. You can see his legs are going a little past 90 degrees. Single bend in the knee, and then a hinge in the boot. So that's pretty good movement, or in the foot, actually. Or ankle, you know. So it's sometimes weird how he doesn't have the ball joint legs, but his legs can still kick up pretty high. And he can also go back a little bit, too. Like, you can actually get this figure to do the splits going this way. It does rub the plastic off a little bit. Like, you can see the paint comes off on the thigh right there from moving it like this. But yeah, so that's pretty much all for this video. Let me know what you think about this figure. Unfortunately, you don't get to see the unadulterated version or the unmodified version. I'm sorry I accidentally deleted the footage the first time. But either way, let me know what you think about this figure, and I will see you guys in the next review.